Hello, JP.
Hello.
Hello. We are sharing some juicy stuff around divorce. So feel free, if you have any questions, anything you'd like to know about what is being discussed here, by all means. If we do not get to answer, we'll come back to you for sure. Okay, that's our promise. So I would like to introduce you to JP and Holly, who are actually right now live from the States, somewhere in the South. You're in Georgia, right? In Atlanta,
Yeah.
Is it?
Just outside of Atlanta.
Beautiful. So it's great to have you. And Holly and JP's, their business is create everything, fix nothing. Really love this, right? Like we don't have anything to fix, but we can create out of who we are, out of our love, out of our juice. But for that, we need to be happy, free. And when we are in the middle of a divorce or before or after, it's not so easy to be in that state of happiness and freedom. Each one of us have experience with this. JP and Holly have been divorced, and I have also actually twice. So this is something that, you know, there is some experience, and we talk from something we have lived and we want to share from our hearts. So we're joyful to be with you. Oh, maybe I should introduce myself as well. For those of you who do not know me, Stephanie Rottet, and I'm a love coach for about 20 years now. And I bring love into the business world, bridging the two together and ensuring that when we create something, we're creating from that place of who we are truly, and that place of joy. So love coaching is also about relationships. Of course, it has the aspect of romance. And the happier we are in that domain, the more powerful, the more juice we have for whatever we're creating. So let's get started with this question, which is really important because it is a very stressful time during this whole divorce. As soon as the divorce word being before, after, or in the middle, it is a stressful time. So Holly and JP, what is it that you would suggest that so that we can really take care of ourselves during these times?
Sure. Yeah. So outside of the obvious, taking care of yourself physically, exercising, hydrating, eating healthy foods, I really took care of my emotions during that time. And I was very intentional about that. I made a decision about how I wanted to feel and how I wanted to show up during the process. So I was able to feel everything. I had days where I was very sad and cried a lot. I had days where I was very scared and had a lot of anxiety. But at the same time, I made sure that I made peace of mind a priority. So I was meditating a lot, doing a lot of things that I enjoy, things that kind of light up my soul, and also finding ways to get excited about the uncertainty. I found ways to embrace the uncertainty of what exactly is this going to look like on the other side. And so I would take long walks and just start envisioning the way I wanted to be and what I wanted my life to look like and what I wanted to call into my life, because I wasn't going to settle for this. This is what I want. And so I focused a lot on what I wanted.
So if I can hear correctly, well, your biggest key, taking care of yourself, but also very important, is not focusing on the past and what has happened so much and being stuck in it, but focusing on what do you want to create from here. This is a very important aspect of it, right? Sometimes we are stuck so much in the cap that we forgot to see the beauty of what the new journey can open. And I come from a place personally where both my divorce, as much as the second one was very abrupt and unexpected, but I really felt the most important was to remain in love, not only with myself, but with the other one. And this is something that I see all the time with people when we talk about divorce and stuff. There is this animosity and this anger and this resentment towards the other person. But I always say, hey, remember, that moment when you fell in love with that person. And if you can continue to focus on what were those elements, those aspects, those qualities of the person that you loved so much. And if you can focus on that while going through the ups and downs of, you know, like going to court and doing this and that, and hopefully you don't even have to go, like, which was my case in my first divorce. The second one was very nasty. So this is not something I had control over. And at some points we also have to let go. But I think it's also the most profound test that we have. Can we remain in love when with the other one is treating us with lack of respect and, you know, is trying to take advantage? It happens all the time, right? And as soon as there is money involved, oh la la, right? So for my part, my biggest piece that I want to give to all of you before, in it, or after, remain in love with the person. Always keep that person in your heart. If it was nasty, there was a reason as well, and it's for the lessons that, yeah, you know, this is what I had to learn, and this is what we receive is usually a mirror, so we can see where am I like this? Maybe I am a cheater or a thief or, you know, an angry person or dishonest or whatever. So that's my little piece for it really helped me go through. And to this day, the first ex-husband being my, you know, one of my best friends, we actually had a beautiful lunch last week together. And the second one, well, after 10 years, we just finished a court case where I had to say, no, stop, like, I don't want to be treated this way. And to really stay in honor, but stay in love. Yeah. So that was my little piece. Anything that you would like to share, JP, in a male's perspective?
Absolutely. You know, I think none of us enter into marriage so that we can be divorced. I mean, so let's remember that. None of us entered into this relationship, into this contract, into this partnership to then separate and divorce. So most of us begin to look at it as if it's a failure, as if I've done something wrong. And, you know, those who are introspective begin to think about, I must be the problem. I must be the problem. And so the key, and especially, you know, I was surprised by mine. So for me, my biggest key was not going down that rabbit hole. So not focusing on the past, but focusing on the future. And it was at that time that I found, you know, a mentor, a coach, who helped me focus on creation rather than problem solving. It was ideal timing. Because shifting out of thinking I need to solve everything, even solve myself, and shifting into how do I create a life I love moving forward? How do I really look at what are the things, like Holly was saying, what are the things that I want to feel? And then how do I make that happen through doing and being?
There is one aspect that I'm hearing that is even more important that we remind everybody, is that you did not take it personally that all of a sudden the other person wants to get out of the marriage. This is very important. I mean, it's one of the 4 Toltec agreements. Don't take anything personally. And truly, I think this part of me sharing the keys to remain in love with the person, no matter what. That is because I didn't take it personally. I know who I am. I mean, he's lost, he doesn't want me in his life, you know. It's really from a place of love for myself as well. So what I love about what you said, JP, is don't lose your confidence about who you are, right? We can totally fall in love with someone, journey for a little bit, and as you said, JP, we don't plan to marry to then go to a divorce. It happens, you know. And nowadays about relationships, I still really love marriage. I think it is such an amazing thing, and I look forward to getting married again. And it's not this la la land, it's just a commitment. It's such a beautiful engagement towards one another. It's it has such another vibe than just living together and be partners. I've been doing both, you know, I do know the difference. But let's also be honest that we have such an amazing ride in life where we grow so much, right? We have so many coaches and access to information and transformation of ourselves. At some point, it's okay if all of a sudden we are together and we decide, wow, you know, we're on a different page. And let's go and continue on each other's book. We wrote a chapter together, and let's go. And not being so attached. Oh my God, a divorce. And it's not the end of the world. We had a good time. Let's focus on that, right? I don't know what you think about this, if you want to add anything, but I really feel like we struggle and suffer too much by thinking of the ideal marriage and it should be for the lifetime. Gosh, I see people who are dead together for years. I don't want to live that way. So, I mean, this is my little piece around divorce and love.
So one of the things I also wanted to share, Stephanie, is around, as you're thinking about what it is you want to create, if you have children, making sure that they're one of those primary focuses. I know for me, that was one of the biggest things. It's like, I know I'm losing my marriage, but I don't want to lose my family, which is my children.
Yeah.
And so how do you then create? And so one of my biggest things has been intentionally creating experiences that continue, you know, to strengthen our relationships in love.
Yes. Beautiful. Holly, I believe you have children as well.
I have one son, yes, and he was my biggest inspiration and motivator for when I was asking myself, how do I want to show up here? And I knew I was going to show up with grace and dignity and integrity and forgiveness and love and respect. And I made that choice and I made that happen throughout my divorce because I didn't want to add any more stress on my son. Of course, you know, this was our deal, not his deal. And my relationship with him is the most important in the world. So I was gonna make sure that I did everything I could for him to be as okay as possible.
Yes, yes. I love it. And you know, there's one word that almost made me choke that you said, and I really would love to finish on this, but you guys, if you are catching this session now, just know that this is just a little sample of what's going on in the Love Army. And the Love Army is a community where we grow together. We're here to hear each other, to help each other. I think it's a skill that we forget in this world because we're so caught into our machines, right? It's great to have technology. I mean, JP and I have never even met live, but we have built this incredible relationship. And I want to come back to the forgiveness part because this is just, again, the little sampler, but for doing the work on forgiveness that is freeing us, freeing our spirit and allowing us to move on with joy, with peace, with grace, with ease. Forgiveness is the key. There's nothing else. And again, I almost choked when you mentioned that name. It's really important. And on the Love Army, we have discussions like this. This is a place where you can come and bring your challenges, your fears, your concerns, your traumas around that. It's all about humanity. It's about heart. It's about support and love and guidance. So here we just want to tell you this is one area as we discuss divorce, but also Holly and JP are really beautiful to talk about teens. You've heard that they have children, they've gone through the divorce, they have the children to look after, they watched, they know what the traumas these children go through the divorce of the parents. It's a breakage, it's a change in their lives, not just in ours as parents. So the forgiveness piece is important. And I would like to invite you guys to join us on the Love Army because it is about being human and come back to love, come back to our hearts, come back to life itself. And there is a big piece around forgiveness. And it's not about forgiving the other for what he has done or she has done, but it's also forgiving ourselves and being gentle with ourselves. So there is so much more I'd love to share right this moment. I'm very touched. And it was so beautiful, Holly and JP, to do this together. I look forward to having more. We'll do some little bits, maybe about in the divorce, when we're in it, some of the important tools we can do before and after. I mean, after, for me, it's all about guiding the single people now that have been married, have had that traumatic experience, and now are still like, oh, I don't talk about women again. We don't talk about men. Now they are mad at half of the world. They're still mad at their ex. So, I mean, if I'm mad at my ex, a man, and I'm mad at men in general, and this is not a way to live. I will never be able to reopen to love. So we have lots of things to offer you at the Love Army. So we invite you to join us. You'll have the link here. And send us a note either to JP, myself, or Holly, and just mention you'd like to be part of it. We'll send you your private invitation. It is a private platform. It's by invitation only. It's all about love. So thank you so much, you guys. I wish you a wonderful end of day. Feel free to reach out individually. We love you, and we'll do this again. Ciao, ciao, guys.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.